Modern Art Blitz. Welcome to Modern Art Blitz, where we blitz modern art in the format of a streaming live television show archived on internet video channels, some of which have yet to be invented. I'm your host, Matt Gleason. My co-hostess is
the slightly blitzed Lisa Derrick.
It does sound like I'm introducing a Hostess fruit pie. If you could be any Hostess product, what would you be? And don't say a ding dong. I can call you that myself.
Well, I'm definitely not a twink. So I think I'm probably a fruit pie.
A fruit pie.
What flavor fruit pie do you think I am, Matt?
Well, you know, every man imagines cherry. First thing came into my mind. In the Skechers seat, the lovely intern Aliza.
Back from
Nice, France, where she didn't get to drive the truck.
Oh. She had to run. That's not funny, Matt. She narrowly escaped with her life and banged her knee up.
Hey, so Aliza does not have a microphone. She will be sketching our guests. Our first guest today, you may remember him from such big art shows as the Istanbul Biennial, the Mexicali Biennial, and the triennial of biennials, the Yokohama Biennial. He is an artist. I'm going to ask him if he's a painter. That'll be my first question, if I should introduce him as a painter. But I will introduce him now as Roni Feldman. Roni,
hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys.
Great. Hey, do you consider yourself a painter? Should you be introduced as a painter? Should you be introduced as an artist?
I think these days I'm more of an artist
You're
than
more
just
of
a painter.
than just a painter. You're not just a gigolo.
And this is the first time in my life I think I can say that.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
And why is that?
Making sculpture now.
Making sculpture now? Okay.
Writing books.
Writing books?
You're on
your third book now?
Yeah. I just finished editing my third book and illustrating it too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Illustrating like children's book?
It's sci-fi fantasy.
Sci-fi fantasy?
Yeah.
Well, let's start with your painting. I'm looking at one behind us.
Okay.
What is it?
What do we see there? Oh, yeah, there it is. Hello. So right there we have a...
Who is that?
That's something I'm not going to say, but it is a famous explorer.
A famous explorer.
Yeah.
And we're left to our own devices to explore the artwork. Double.
You kind of nailed it on the head right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. So what I've been doing lately, I've been doing portraits of famous explorers, landscapes of places I've traveled to, or intend to travel to, or may never be allowed to travel to.
So therefore, every landscape
Maybe
is possible.
But specifically places I would be barred.
Okay.
From.
You would be barred
I'd be
from.
barred.
Why
I
would
would
you
not
be
be
barred?
allowed.
What are your qualifications for being barred?
Well, that could be a few things. They might not exist anymore because they've been blown up. I just recently painted like Palmyra in Syria.
Okay.
Or places due to my particular ethnic heritage.
What's your particular ethnic heritage?
My parents are from Israel.
Oh,
and,
you're not allowed in a lot of places these days. Yeah. They won't even shake your hand at the Olympics.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
And there's places that just as an American you probably
Really?
can't
Like where?
or shouldn't.
Area
go to.
51, you mean?
Well, I can't think of one off the top of my head. But let me think of like.
You do not want to be going to like Crimea or the Ukraine right now.
Or like a white supremacist training camp.
Hard to get pictures of that though.
Yeah.
For me to paint after.
As an Israeli, I highly recommend you don't go there.
Not on my to-do list.
No, okay. Mecca. Isn't there a sign like if you're not a Muslim, you're not allowed
like adventure travel, but haven't.
You're not planning to do a Hajj in this lifetime.
Probably not. I do think that would be really amazing.
No
to
pilgrimage,
to go out there and just see what that's about.
Yeah,
I mean,
just kind of rub the rock and watch it. The lightning will start striking.
You guys want to
Lawrence
go
of
out there if you
Arabia
could?
Did it?
Well, Lawrence of Arabia wasn't Jewish.
He had blue eyes though. Do you
So Roni, this is a new work.
Yeah, pretty recent.
And so we're getting into this like landscape of places that you're basically you're going to be barred from.
Yeah.
And no sci-fi landscapes.
No, these are for now all real.
Somebody
places.
could access them, but just not you.
Yeah.
And the explorers, any code for what explorers you use?
Well, some of them range from explorers that have from 400 or 500 years ago, famous explorers from the Great Age of Exploration to people from the last century.
And you're talking physical explorers. There's no cyberspace explorers.
Yeah,
not like the kid who got.
I started with that a little bit, and got rid of that and decided are real explorers.
Not these Pokemon explorers.
No, none of that. None of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real explorers, people who went out in the world, oftentimes risking their lives.
Yeah.
Many of these people I paint never came back.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So the portraits are a
Oh,
bit of an
like
homage.
did you do the did you do the Rockefeller who got eaten by cannibals?
Oh, I don't even know about that.
Oh, you haven't heard about that?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that is a great documentary. I don't believe the title is The Rockefeller Who Got Eaten by Cannibals, but if you Google that, you'll find it.
Okay, all right. I will be looking into that for a
That'd be a
future.
better title. I don't care what they titled it. The Rockefeller Who Got Eaten by Cannibals.
Yeah.
That's a good title. You're a good marketer. I think you got a future in marketing.
Yeah,
If your future as a curator, Lisa, doesn't pan out, but I think it will. So what are we looking at here? Is this another explorer you refuse to name?
This is another explorer I refuse to name, and as you can see, in some cases, I'm even covering up the explorer.
There's so much, one could never hope to explore the depths and figure it out.
For me, it's enough for you to know that it's an explorer, or a place that I have explored.
It's that guy over there exploring a place you aren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to go see some of the places these people have been to, but
yes,
only get so far,
So
right, I mean,
summer vacation.
and some places they have spiders as big as a dinner plate.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Wow, you're a bit of an explorer yourself.
Yeah, I travel a lot.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, that's where I get a lot of these ideas for my paintings and sculptures now. Some of the sculptures, which we'll see later, they come from souvenirs I've brought back from my travels.
Ah, okay.
So those things get turned into.
So how big is this painting?
These are, for the most part, these are about 3 feet tall.
okay.
Although some of them do get up to about 6 feet.
And you studied art. Where'd you go to study at? Did you go to art school?
I went to the College of Creative Studies at UC Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And finished graduate school at Claremont Graduate University.
Claremont Graduate School.
Student
loan debt's done.
For the most part.
Almost paid
them off.
How many years did it take?
Oh, it's been
I always have to ask this.
Well,
it's a moral obligation to bring this up.
It is, right?
Yes. Sorry, kids.
They made me stop paying for a couple years while I was in graduate school. They would not let me pay during graduate school.
But was it acquiring interest while you weren't
Of course it was, right? Or was it for...
Some of it was.
Yeah.
What? But they wouldn't let you pay it?
So you get subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. So the subsidized loans do not accrue interest. So that's fine, sort of. I mean, I would have been fine paying it off in school just to get it done off my plate, right? You don't want to think about that a moment longer than you have to. But the unsubsidized stuff, to my knowledge, my recollection, they keep accruing interest.
Even though they wouldn't let you pay for them?
Yeah, at least I remember. Can't say for sure about that one, but I know the subsidized ones wouldn't let me pay.
I love graduate schools because they preach against capitalism, and they're financed by loans underwritten mostly by Goldman Sachs. So you just gotta love the way the system works. Again, yeah. Okay, so let's move on. We got more of your art, and I'm looking at the technique here. I'm assuming this is acrylic paint.
Yeah, mostly, although there's a lot of mixed media in these too.
Okay.
But yeah, I start out with a airbrushed portrait or landscape, whatever it is I'm working in, doing pretty realistically. Then painting in all these different marks with acrylic paint and brushes and different layering effects, and sometimes bring in Prismacolor and collage and other material on there.
Wait, what is Prismacolor? Is a crayon, basically, right?
A pencil.
It's a pencil.
Really nice quality color pencils.
Those are the ones, because they're just too damn. They're like $8 a piece.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It's pretty, but they're worth it.
You buy a box, you get
you buy a box.
60, 70, 80 colors in there, and you get a little better deal.
Speaking of
that
loans,
way.
I was going to say, I got my student loan, but I have my Prismacolor loan I really have to pay off.
I needed a loan yesterday for this painting I was making where I had to use like half a bucket of texture paste on this thing. That cost a pretty penny on that stuff.
Wow, half a bucket.
Yeah, so one of the things about doing these paintings of explorers, almost every painting I do, I try something I've never tried before.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I want to be a visual explorer myself. I want my viewers to kind of have this experience of exploring.
Is there like, if someone guesses on the first guess, do they win a prize?
I'd tell them. That's the prize.
Really?
Guess,
You affirm the affirmation is the prize.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it means that they're looking at it and they're exploring and trying to figure it out. That's kind of what I'm hoping is happening.
I firmly believe, and I believe your art has always qualified this. I've followed your career a long time, and I've always been a fan. And I do, and I believe that art should reward the curious. Yeah. And I hate that art that's like, well, what's going on here? Well, really nothing. It's just, okay?
Yeah.
So
I completely agree with that. And I think like more so than ever, my work is more open-ended and like is there to be explored.
So there are definites, as removed as they are in your work,
Yeah.
but there's also an imaginary layer that people can bring their own stuff to.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think it has to be that way, right? I mean,
But at the end of
it's
the day, you have a beautiful, fine, well-crafted object, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
And do you work with any female explorers, or is it primarily?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's a very personal question.
Yeah. Well, my wife now is a female explorer. She comes along with me on these trips.
Well.
Yeah. But as far as my paintings go, yeah, and not that easy to find historical female explorers. Like it's taken me a bit of research to find some.
They're still looking for Amelia Earhart.
I was just going to say.
That was too easy a joke. Okay.
Although
Sorry.
they do think they might have found
They
her.
might have found her?
Yeah, there's some evidence of these bones they found with some aircraft parts in this island.
Leave her hidden. It's much better. It's much better.
More interesting, better
so
story.
let's keep going. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm digging these.
Wow.
I'm digging
Oh, so here we're
these.
getting into landscapes now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you won't tell us where this is?
I don't know if it matters.
Does it matter?
I don't-
So
I don't know
now,
if it
so
matters.
this is not an abstract painting because it is based on landscape, or could somebody look at this and accept it as an abstract
I think it
painting?
could be totally an abstract painting
Okay.
at this point. I mean, you could vaguely see that there's some trees back there.
Yes.
But like I said, I don't think that matters. I think it's the way that you look at it that matters. The way
Okay.
that your eye moves around it, the time you spend looking at this.
So you're kind of sounding like a formalist now. Are you considering
Yeah.
yourself a formalist?
That I am.
Team F?
I am definitely a
You're
team
big Team F?
Team F.
Team F, okay. Kaboom! Okay. So when you, now how big is this painting?
That's about 4 feet.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's getting a little larger
And
here.
now, are you showing these anywhere?
I've not shown these much in Los Angeles. These have been shown probably more in other countries than in in LA.
Where are you showing internationally?
Let's see. I showed a gallery in Australia.
Okay.
In Sydney.
Okay.
I've shown these in Europe and a little bit in Asia.
Wow.
Yeah. Not that much around the U.S. yet.
How do you get in all those biennials? Is there like is there like a thing? It only the application only comes up every 2 years. I mean, how do you get in all those biennials?
I think I just get any job or any friend, through
Really?
friends,
Just-
you know people.
It's who
just
you know.
Who you know.
It's the art world's who you know. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just checking. I agree, but you never
Just
know.
like you know somebody and your work happens to fit a theme and they call you up and
No, that's
Yeah.
I didn't know. Maybe there was a biennial secret. Like, well, first off, you have to drink Diet Coke, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
So so let's move on and see. I want to get to your sculpture because I'm really
Yeah.
excited. Whoa. I don't want to get to your sculpture that fast where we can't talk
beautiful.
about this. That does look like some kind of Parthenon type.
maybe I will say where this
Okay,
one
where is this?
This is Palmyra.
Oh, this
since
is-
I brought it up.
You already brought
before.
Palmyra. This is
Yeah.
Palmyra, which has now been destroyed
Yeah.
by Islamists.
by ISIS. Yeah.
ISIS.
So this place you can never go see ever again.
Ever
I mean,
again.
this place that I talk about with my students, and we show them images of this place in some of the lectures we give, and we'll never get to go see this stuff.
I always thought it was eerie that the two Buddhas, those two giant Buddhas, were destroyed in Afghanistan in 2001 by the Taliban,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like, oh well, we have to respect their culture of destruction, and then two tall Buddhas, and then 3 months later, two tall buildings in New York. So
Yeah.
this destruction of one city, it only it tells you what's going to happen if people aren't more
Perpetuates.
alert,
Yeah.
Now you were raised in the United States, right?
Yeah.
So you never had to join the Israeli army. Your parents are from Israel.
I did not. Although last time I was there, I almost got
Drafted?
well, kind of. There was some question that I got held at the airport for about an hour.
No, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, actually, when I was about 13, my parents got rid of my Israeli citizenship.
Okay.
For a few reasons. I mean, one, they started charging us to go back there if you were a citizen, and also
It's like a club. Israel's a nightclub. It's like there's a cover charge here.
yeah, and people are going to be probably really mad at me to find out that I gave up my citizenship. People are like,
There's people
gonna be
Israelis
totally,
that you're very bad. You're disloyal. Blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
I'm not
Okay.
Zionistic and
Yeah.
all this stuff. And
Okay.
well, I do love it out there. I think it's a great place. I have family there. I enjoy it a lot. Don't want to
Be a
be a
citizen.
citizen
You're an American.
for a number of reasons. Yeah, this is a place I associate with.
You're an ugly
here.
American. You
Yeah,
go to gas
yeah.
stations and trash the bathrooms, and then
Yeah.
you lie about it. Right?
And
That's
you know,
okay.
lie about it to my family.
Bad
Yeah.
Olympic joke. Okay. Okay. So you got held because they said, well, wait a minute, you actually might be a citizen who never served in the army.
Oh, they don't say anything to you. They
don't tell you
just show
why?
up there and they just go silent.
Oh, no.
And so 10 minutes go by before they said one word to me, which was, "What's your mother's maiden name?"
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I'm going, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And then I start trying to tell them the story, and they don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it. They just want an answer.
Yeah, they just ask quiet.
Was it the Mossad?
No, it's just the people at the airport who check you out. They check your
Oh,
passport
God,
upon exit.
like the clerk?
It's a clerk, but they could
Woo!
be. They could
Okay.
be.
But it could be undercover.
Who knows? Who knows? The military.
never know.
Yeah.
Wow, so you were just they just said nothing to you?
Nothing. They didn't want to hear what I had to say until finally I got them to look at. I was smart enough to bring my form that I had got when I was 13 years old, saying that I'm no longer a citizen.
Oh, wow.
But even then, it was at least 20, 30 minutes after that of silence.
Frankly, it's an old form now.
Yeah, it's a rusty copy of this thing, like yellowed.
Wow.
But fortunately, they just handed me back my passport, and
That was it?
and that was it. Then I was at my gate.
Let
and I was
bygones be bygones.
Sweating there,
Wow,
and yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Okay, let's move out of Palmyra before they destroy us. And what's next? Wow.
Oh, here we're getting into
3D.
some sculpture now.
Now,
yeah.
what is this?
So that rock that you see there in the center, that's half covered in gold. I actually just picked that up a few months back at the top of a volcano in Indonesia.
Oh, you're in Indonesia?
Yeah, honeymoon.
Wow.
Honeymoon.
You honeymooned in Indonesia.
So some people go.
I honeymoon in Vegas, you honeymoon in Indonesia.
Yeah, some people,
okay.
for their honeymoon, they like, want to relax and hang out by the pool. My wife and I, we wanted to climb a 13,000-foot volcano and sweat for.
Did you see the lava? Did you look down into the lava?
It was a actual smoking, steaming volcano.
Wow.
Don't breathe deep.
And it actually, like, just last week, it erupted.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you got out of there.
We were out of there.
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
We were out of
So
there.
you could have gotten the lava.
Yeah, so we were good.
So there's no souvenir lava in this piece.
Well, that chunk of rock at the top is a piece of lava rock I picked up from the summit.
But it's gold.
Well, I painted
Oh,
it
you
gold.
paint. Oh,
So I'm altering these things.
It's called art, dude. Okay.
I wish I found a hunk of gold on
I
the
was
top
gonna
of
say,
a volcano.
man, put it in
Yeah,
Put that
I'd be
in
going
a
to a
safety
lot more.
deposit box. Yeah.
I'd be going to a lot more volcanoes.
Yeah. So how big is this piece?
So this is a moderately sized piece, probably about a foot across.
Okay,
So
great.
that rock was it's very light. I just had to put it in my
Oh, it's that kind of
backpack.
airy volcanic rock.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and you were allowed to bring it back into the
I
U.S.
don't know if I was allowed to bring it back. Actually, I
What
feel
is it like a sacred site, like in Hawaii? It's the goddess.
I think part of it was a sacred, but not the part we went to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's-
Indonesia is primarily a Muslim country, right?
Primarily.
But you didn't have any trouble there.
No, it was
More trouble in Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Extremely friendly there.
Really?
Extremely friendly and gentle.
Is that
and
the one, or
kind.
is it? It's Singapore
Yeah.
where you can't chew gum, right?
That's the place.
Okay,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can chew gum in Indonesia.
You can chew all the gum you want.
And
yeah.
could you throw it in the volcano though?
I wouldn't. Though.
would-
Although there was a lot of gum and candy wrappers everywhere.
Really?
Oh yeah. it was-
I noticed.
yeah.
The litter bug campaign never got. You remember? Don't be a litter
Yes.
bug. Okay,
Yeah.
that campaign. I
Never
saw it as a
went.
kid, but they should have had it a little more.
Global.
Global.
You could imagine you have to climb it was a good 6,000-foot climb in one day, and then these guys, these Sherpas are carrying like 60, 70 pounds of gear on their back. You can
They're happy to get
imagine
rid of every candy wrapper.
every bit.
They can't just put a trash can there.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, here, right here.
They were mad at me and my wife for not drinking more water. They had to
wow.
carry all this water.
Oh, because hey, could you
Yeah.
drink some more of this? Because
Yeah.
then my job's easier.
They were
okay,
yeah.
okay. So, and how long does it take to climb a 13,000 foot volcano?
It was a 4-day trek. You climb up to the rim first day. Then the next day you wake up like 3 in the morning. You climb up to the summit, and that same day you climb down inside this huge caldera, this huge lake with another volcano growing up inside of it.
Lake of Fire.
It is a hot lake.
Oh,
it is the
great.
creepiest thing in the world.
Wow.
But amazing and beautiful all at the same time.
Great.
Yeah. And there's hot springs. You can soak your aching feet.
And you survived
We survived.
to make
Yeah.
art. Now, as a formalist, what role does content play in your work?
Oh man, so actual subject matter.
Yeah,
you mean?
subject matter.
Well, obviously, I care that it is explores. There is subject matter in my work.
You need points of departure to make
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never, maybe in my entire life, made a work that is entirely abstract.
No purity here.
No purity
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there is some content, but you really are privileging the final product and the look of the final product.
For me,
right?
it is the actual physiological experience of being in front of a work of art and looking at it that is the crux of this experience.
Do you get accused of being a Claremont artist a lot?
Nobody said it in a mean tone yet.
I didn't mean mean tone. I just meant. Do people go, did you go to Claremont? Do people look at your art and say, did you go to Claremont?
We know what we are. We know who we studied with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, what's this?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So this is another piece I picked up in Bali.
Wow.
This is so they make these incredible sculptures there. Incredible, like labor-intensive sculptures. And I bought one of these things that it could fit in my suitcase, and I came home and then transformed it into this.
Nice.
It's a little more reminiscent of my work.
A smuggled masterpiece.
Yeah.
Wow. No duty paid on that. Don't go on the record. Never mind. Never mind. And how is this a piece on paper? It looks like it's on paper.
It's actually it's a three-dimensional wood sculpture.
Oh, okay.
That's the part that I purchased. And then all the things that you're seeing on top of that's paint on plastic and painted on top of it. So it's a transparent Duralar.
Oh,
so it would hang directly on the wall, and
Okay.
it would look like all these marks are painted directly on the wall.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is recent.
Very recent. Probably
Okay.
my second most recent piece.
What biennial is this going to be in?
Oh, I hope somewhere good.
Ah!
Listen up, folks.
So when you're in a biennial, do they pay for you to come out and hang out and see your artwork?
Well, actually, these things have all been really casual for the most part.
They sound so prestigious, and was the biennial in your friend's garage? Tell the truth.
They were in museums,
Museums.
or galleries.
Okay, you're at the museum
galleries,
level,
yeah.
gallery level. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
They were in nice spaces, but they usually involve the curator himself hauling all the work out there somehow. I don't know if they were getting funding to do this or what.
The curators the curators, like, part of their job is to fulfill all that. Wow.
I think when you start getting to the solo show at the biennial level, that's when you get they send you and your family.
That's when they fly
there.
you out. Your groupies have their own private jet, all that
Exactly.
stuff. Okay, wow.
Stay at the
Well,
Four Seasons.
I know you're headed that way, Ronnie, and I really thank you for joining us. These interviews just fly by, but we gabbed and gabbed. Thanks for joining us. I know you got to run out. You're going to a party tonight?
A meeting. A little art meeting.
About a biennial?
Yeah, a little conspiracy theories going on here. Yeah, trying to figure out what's next.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us on Modern Art Blitz. We have some prizes for you. No, parting gifts. We have some parting gifts. That's what they used to say in the old game shows. We have some parting gifts for you, but thanks again for being here.
Absolutely a pleasure seeing you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much.
And let's see your...
Oh, boy.
Let's see what the Sketcher seat delivered for us today. Nice. All right, intern Aliza has sketched. Ronnie, that's pretty. Oh boy.
That's me, all right.
That's you, all right.
That's me.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ronnie.
All right. Thank you guys so much. See you all soon.
All right.
All right.
Make sure you give Nolan back his microphone. And your shoes. Don't forget your shoes.
So Matt, you had a dream last night?
I had a dream last night. Okay, actually it was this morning. Okay, so check this out. Before I went to bed, I saw a link on Twitter from Dave Naz of this website where somebody just came out with a book of 60 photos of Madonna from when she was like 19, living in Brooklyn. Or maybe 21. If she's 21, don't sue me, okay? And she's really young. I never had a thing for Madonna at all. But I will say, I sat there and looked, and it was very nostalgic to look at this thing. Right before I went to bed, there's Madonna looking really young, really cute, just innocent. You realize she's gonna, change pop culture soon, and it's the one like I'm here to make it, and thousands do that and fail, and here's the one who actually did it.
Right.
She did it. Okay, so then I go to bed, right? So then I have this dream that Madonna was basically she was sitting. Well, she was sitting basically.
Reverse cowgirl?
No, looking at me.
Oh, okay.
And she was just telling me how great I was, and talking all this. I could go into the details of what she was saying, but
wow. So
I'm pretty
Madonna
great.
was like your spirit shaman.
Hold on. Just she's looking at me, really beautiful, and I know I'm going to hook up with Madonna here. Now, again, I've never had a Madonna fetish. Not really my type. The chicks who were into Madonna in the 80s, we used to like, oh, that's bad. That was a bad sign for culture. But
great sense of style though as a kid.
Okay. So she's looking. She's young. She's beautiful. She's telling me how great I am, how much she wants me. Fucking alarm went off. The alarm went off. The real alarm. That's not a metaphor. The real alarm went off.
So your
and I'm
alarm-
laying there. And I had earplugs in, and I still heard the alarm. And so then I do this to try to get the wife to answer the alarm. Maybe I could just hop back on with Madonna here. And the wife's not. The alarm is set. She got up early to walk the dog. So, ruined. Ruined. I had my chance with Madonna right there. Ruined. I am never setting the alarm again. Ever.
I do have a question I can't even ask.
I am never going to set the alarm again.
This is...
What's the question?
No, I can't ask you. It's too embarrassing.
Let's hear it.
No.
Did I get into the groove? No, the alarm went off before I could.
No, not into...
Did she make me feel like a virgin? No. What's the question? You can't ever do that on TV. You can't say you can't say something. You're going to say it.
Can I whisper it? Did you get a boner?
I did not get a boner. No.
What? You had Madonna... You were sitting across from Madonna. She's telling you how great you are. You think you're finally going to make it with her, and you don't wake up with morning wood?
You got to play hard to get with chicks. Getting hard is not playing hard to get. Get it? Our next guest is a legend of Los Angeles graffiti. And we will discuss the difference between graffiti and street art with this modern master. Ladies and gentlemen, from the streets of Boyle Heights or East Los Angeles? Either. Boyle Heights, comma, East Los Angeles. From the streets of Boyle Heights and East Los Angeles, the legend, NUKE!
That's fine. I feel like I'm on Johnny Carson. You're right.
Welcome, man.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. How you doing?
NUKE.
What up? What up?
We got so many of your things to go through. It's
Hey,
we're gonna be
matching
like
today.
boom,
We're
boom. We
matching
are. We
today.
get the same
know.
color scheme here. I got more flakes from my beard snowing down on it though. Okay, so hey, so welcome to Modern Art Blitz.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Now I've known you forever.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since you were a little running around there
schmuck.
with the cans. Yeah. So what do we got here? Wow, whoa, we got Che here. Did you ever get shit for painting Che?
You know what? Many a times by Cuban immigrants.
Cuban immigrants do not like Che.
Always Cubans and stuff. But you know what? The testament stands to a bunch of people, whether I'm in Turkey, whether I'm in Chiapas. I'll show Che to somebody that, where they're actually going through struggle and they identify with them. They're like, yeah, we like Che, man. We're down with it.
I always felt Che wasn't necessarily as much a symbol of struggle as he was of success. Like, hey, once in a while,
Sure.
the revolution does work. You get your way,
Sure
okay?
it does.
You may as well try. This guy did anyone, right?
Sure.
If revolution was a Olympic sport, he would have had like a gold medal. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
look at it that way. So.
And this happened to be done at the University of Social Sciences when I was there in 1994.
In what country?
In Chiapas, in
and
Mexico.
this is
in Chiapas.
this is in
yeah.
Mexico, southern Mexico.
Southern Mexico.
And there's a lot of trouble down in Chiapas.
There still has been since
Yeah.
1994.
Yeah, it's just
You
it's
know.
a hot area
It is. Well, it's one of the richest zones of Mexico. It has
as far as natural resources
natural
go.
resources and stuff. So the government's always ready to plunder as much as they can. The only thing this time around, especially with the internet, it saved the Zapatistas. Technology actually worked for the indigenous people. So
Because they can communicate now.
yeah, they would have been decimated overnight.
You can't deny things when the information's right there in front of you.
Exactly.
All right, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at, a lot of my stuff tends to be native of origin and stuff. My roots lie a lot with them. So there's like a Sundance ceremony, different aspects of native culture are represented.
When did you first tag a wall?
Right across the street. Right across the street in my own neighborhood. Like I said, this is Boyle Heights. I grew up it. These are my stomping grounds. Doing little tags just like anybody else was, right on a piece
old
of
were
wet
you?
cement.
How old were you?
I was like around maybe 5 or 6 years old.
Wow.
Trying to copy my brother's little, gang tags at the time.
So were you NUKE always?
No.
Can you not say the name you were?
No, I was Pepe first.
You were Pepe
I was
first.
Joseph, Pepe. Later on in the 80s, when I graduated from 1984 from St. Isabel across the street, I took on the name Crazy Fresh, which I thought was Crazy Fresh.
That's pretty crazy. Fresh.
It was
that's
crazy.
You know what? That's a really 80s name.
It was crazy embarrassing.
Have you ever had a dream where Madonna and you were hooking up? Never mind. Because that might be too 80s.
No.
Okay, well let's move on. And I know you have. Okay.
Hey, here's our rendition of Al's Bar, man. This is this was done at the Florentine Gardens.
Oh my God.
For Anger for CBS back in the early 2000s. Our crew, UTI, Under the Influence, got a chance to do something right there. They gave us a shitty spot, but I decided to do the background of the entrance to Al's Bar.
Al's
man.
Bar, that looks like
and a Mayan cyber character I have in the front.
At Traction and Hewitt in what they call now the Arts District.
Yeah, and you could see L's right there in the back,
Yeah.
like painted by actually Gajim Fujita, otherwise known as Hyde to us.
And he was LOD, right?
No, he was second to none.
He was second to none.
Okay. Yeah, 213.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Him and Paul Kanamitsu.
Skep lived across the street from Al's Bar.
They're OGs right there, man.
That's where I think that's where I met you the first time I met you.
I have to say this. You met me I must have been crashing. I don't know how many art parties I could, when I was tagging around the area. And I was somewhere, and you actually interviewed me. You talked to me about something, and then when I seen you the last time, you're like, I put what you said in Coagula. I was like, wow, man, this guy actually listened to what I had to say, man. The common man,
Let me tell you, the ears never
that
get
was
you in
dope,
trouble.
man, but that meant
the
a lot
mouth
to me.
gets you in trouble, but the ears never. I always listen. So what are we looking at here? Now, this is the Graffiti Hall of Fame, right?
You know what? We called it the Graffiti Hall of Fame. It's been under many different hands. Originally under West Coast, Paul Kanamitsu, Skepton, Hyde, Frame, even a couple early New York guys, and the K2S used to paint there. But in 1989, we kind of took it over, man,
Now, this is the parking lot next to the American Hotel on Hewitt Street in what they call now the Arts District.
Yes.
And it's still got plenty of tags up right now, right?
Oh,
a lot of pieces?
Well, it's got our current production that we did. We did an homage to Frank Frazetta.
Okay.
Fire and Ice. And then we've been holding it down. I mean, I often tell people, the only reason we're here is by the grace of God and luck and being at the right place at the right time. Because technically, we don't own any property there.
Yeah.
But
you've
we
been in that
deserve to be
neighborhood.
there.
You've been in that neighborhood forever, man.
Well, yeah, it always felt good to be surrounded by a whole group of hardcore artists that at the time we looked up to, man. You know, whether it's Alberto Millares or even $50 or all these different people.
Man.
All these different that we meet. Even Frank, man. I loved Frank. The guy used to make the Franks.
He was a homeless guy, and he had a source of copper wire that he would double. He would double spool and then wrap with different colors of electrical wire, different patterns, and then he would melt like a hot wax on the thing, and you could basically use it as a hair tie.
Beautiful ornamentation.
If you had dreadlocks, bracelets, and instead of homeless people bumming money outside of Al's Bar, he would say, I'd like to give you a frong. Would you like to buy it from me? And he would make more than instead of 50 cents, people would give him $5, $10. And I would always pick one up, I'm going to see a girl. Oh, hey, I got you this.
Yeah.
I'd always see Frong
I think
hey,
I have
got
a couple
you this.
of girlfriends that have bracelets.
Yeah, exactly.
By him.
Every girl you would go out with would have a Frong at the last minute, I thought of you, baby.
Of course.
So, he's thinking of me. Okay, so what are we looking at here, man?
This is in Mexico City. It's in a neighborhood. This was done in 2000, and it's a Pancho Villa busting through a wall.
Now this is less graffiti and more mural.
But I'm making reference to Scene 1 in New York City when he used to do busting through walls kind of imagery.
But you grew up in seeing murals before you ever graffitied.
Yeah, right here by Estrada Courts,
The Estrella Courts, their housing project.
All
right?
the Paul Boteo pieces, Carlos Almaraz, the Islo streetscapers, Wayne Healy, Judy Baca,
And the art was a normal part of your life.
It was normal. It was something that I just thought I wanted to do for sure. But I mean, man, I would even watch TV shows, the Croft Superstar shows, ISIS, and they featured Estrada Courts, often. So I was like, well, yeah, it seemed like normal.
The most normal part.
Yeah.
So okay, let's keep moving. You brought some people bring 6 images. You brought.
By the way, that neighborhood was. They call it La Perrera because that's where all the cops live.
Oh, yeah.
La Perrera,
So you put
the
Pancho
dog pound.
Villa. You put Pancho Villa in the cop neighborhood. I love it.
Okay, now this is a classic photo. This is a photo by Bob Bertero, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Bob.
He took a picture of us when we were painting across on what was the Wolfskill Theater for a minute.
It's now called Wurstkutscher, a
And
very popular
Wurstkutscher,
sausage house.
yeah. And that was us lined up against the wall after some idiot passed by with his 2 girls, and he was like muttering under his breath. He was like, "Yeah, look at these graffiti writers," and we all kind of surrounded him, and we offered a debate, you know. And as we were debating, he kind of yelled at us. He said, "Well, why do you guys got to be here?" And like I said, "Well, because of manifest destiny, man. God told me to be here, you know." Well, he ended up leaving. He thought he was gonna get his ass beat, but we weren't about that, man. And he went, and then he called the cops on us, and what turned out to be like a 4-hour standoff right there. My girl Stacy from Al's Bar came out, contacted the original owners, and they let us go, man.
Wow.
So,
I remember Bob took the picture. That's actually that's my Cadillac. I think that's my Cadillac Cimarron.
Yeah.
Oh, your elbow just covered my Cadillac. Yep, there you go. I think, no, maybe not. My window was right below Bob's, and it was like, okay, I'm glad Stacy came out.
Hey man, I'm glad he got it on film. You know, at the
Yeah.
time it was Rodney King. At the time, you know.
This was right on. These were tightrope walking days.
Yeah, although we had a pretty weird like LAPD officer in tight biker shorts, so I don't know where he fit in.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly like the SWAT team.
So the difference between graffiti and street art. Now, back in the old days, street art was actually socio-political art that would be done. It wasn't necessarily going up on the walls. It might be like the ASCO protests and sort of improvisational socio-political stuff. Now street art is like arty art up on walls, and then there's graffiti, and maybe you can go a little more in-depth about this, and I may be a little off here too.
Well, you know what? I think within our crew, we always strive to, even though we were going crazy like tagging and mobbing and stuff like that, our major productions always have something to say. You know, and many of our artists are very conscious individuals, whether you're talking about Shot, who had his band Social Justice, became Downset, you know, or Skill with his mural still over there at MacArthur Park in the tunnels of a mother feeding her baby a crack pipe, and it says "Born to Die." You know, it's a classic, man. We were saying something about the area that we're in, and even our tags. Somebody like Swan would add monikers, or Design 9 would add things that he read about in books that have nothing to do with graffiti. It was always about having that audience on the street. You know?
What's going? There's a big audience in this picture.
So this is a Zapatista community. I filmed the movie there with them, and at the end, I did a mural at their school with the leftover paint. These are all the future Zapatista kids.
This is down in
Chiapas. This is in a neighborhood that back in 1984 was overrun by the army. They took it over. They kicked everybody out. They killed people. They tortured people. They took over the town, turned it into a big brothel.
Wow.
and then
every army needs a brothel.
Yeah. And then the people came back like 10 years later to rebuild.
Wow.
And I documented their time from 1994 to 2005 when they came back.
Wow.
You know.
And how many times have you been down to Chiapas?
I'd say over a dozen times.
Really? What's the best way to get there? I mean,
through TJ.
No. I mean, do you fly or do you drive?
I fly.
Okay.
I fly. There's an actually direct route now.
There's a direct flight to Chiapas?
Into San Cristobal.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
from
much
LAX.
more modern. From LAX or from TJ, or from Bob Hope Airport, which I like to fly out of.
That's perfect. Everyone likes to fly over, even if I'm going down to the Zapatistas.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we got.
But you know what? It is hard to get to. I mean, we're talking about 6-7 hours.
No, I was going to say it seems
in the
so
jungle,
remote.
in a truck.
That seemed like a 10-day.
Yeah,
like a 10-day trip. Where's this piece?
This was what we called the Santa Fe yard. This was a block up from 7th on Santa Fe. It had been abandoned for many years. It was used on the set for 18 Again with George Burns. And and there was a tree. I don't know if you remember, there was an empty lot. There was a picture of a tree during autumn, all painted really beautifully. While in the movie, his grandson, who they switch, you know, they always did that. Grandfather and nephew, they switched their bodies.
They switched their bodies, okay.
You know, well, he was out there with painting this thing, and I came across it, man. It was empty, except for this beautiful tree. And I was like, man, this is a great place for us to start a little yard. And so Skill and Angst and Duke and Hex were the first one, along with Lumit from Germany. They did a big old mural there, and then we started hitting it up, man.
So you're not afraid of like you mentioned all these people you associate with. Are your graffiti illegal days so past that you don't mind, or
I don't really care, man. My crew still gets up. I mean, we just had a 30th anniversary, and we got closed down twice. And even the owner of that second warehouse, after he was jockeying us, was all mad because we started tagging up the place, you know? And yet he has a Mir 1 sculpture there, and he has this street art, you know, that's what I find ironic is that, you know, they exalt and put up on the pedestal the street art, but when the real fucking street artists come and mob up your place, I'm sure it would have been Banksy. They would have been cutting it out of the wall.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
So,
there's a real pussy element to the street
art. I mean,
art.
it's that's what keeps us real, you know? I can't get out of it. I got into it for a reason because this was my support base, man. And as like they said, is once you get in the car, you ain't getting out until the wheels roll off. So, you know.
What's this piece?
Okay, this is in you know, we've gotten commissions. You know, this was done for Jose Huizar's council district. This is in Hazard. This is on the auditorium of Hazard projects.
Now, does this ever get bombed?
Hell no, you'll get jacked right there. The Hazard gang will fuck you up.
The Hazard gang, they don't touch it.
No, they respect it. Again, here's another group of projects that elevated those 70s murals to a high art, and they protect it.
Wow. Okay.
You know, and so right there, like my dad's from Evergreen, an old gang here, and you know, he's an old union organizer, and as soon as, even though we got the okay to go paint that, he still had to call the main dudes from Hazard and go, hey, my son's gonna be going in your neighborhood,
okay.
You know, get the okay. I always thought the okay from the locals is what matters to me more before everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so we did a great mural on sports, but at the same time we integrated a lot of things. Two of the men that we drew on there were shot by the cops there, and we put them on there so that the cops realize, hey man, this is a community of people and the man that got shot, he's there pictured with his baby. So they realize the humanity of the people living there. And on the right side, I did the Mayan ball court game. Now, the funny thing is, to get permission, we had to go through the Housing Authority and Parks and Recreations. And when I showed him the image for the Mayan ball game, it has the glyph for the Maya ball game actually is the platform of the game, and it looks like a big H. And so, since it's Hazard,
Oh, wow.
I thought I'd homage to Hazard first. Well, they hit me up. They were like, what is that? Is that an H? And I go, well, no, it's actually a capital I, you know. And then I told him, no, actually, I never said it's an H, never said it's Hazard, never agreed to him, but I backed it up with archaeological backgrounds. I said, look, this is the way the Maya ball court looks. This is the archaeological proof of it.
They couldn't touch you.
They couldn't touch it.
Wow.
You know, and Hazard, the last guy that tagged on there, they messed him up.
So, and the H could be for Huizar too. So,
Exactly.
So let's keep going, man. You got a long history in Southern California, obviously internationally too. So what's going on here?
Here's me giving a workshop to the Zapatistas in 1997. We took off with different Chicanos. At the time, we were working out of Zach de la Rocha space out there in Highland Park on Avenue 50. Called the Popular Resource Center.
Okay.
And by 94, I was coming back and getting more involved, leaving the graffiti stuff a little bit, more disseminating the information what was going on down there in Chiapas. And when we went back with a whole group of UCLA students, teatristas, Chusma, Aslan Underground, Quetzal, and myself.
You know, Zach's my neighbor in Chinatown.
Oh, yeah.
And I always want to talk politics with him, but I end up, the only thing we ever talk about is Dodgers or Lakers.
Or his little guitar.
He's a big, he's a sports guy. And you know, he's a big Beatles. He knows everything about the Beatles.
Word.
Bring up Bam Bam, he
Word.
can tell you all kinds about but no politics yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know what, his place was, again, influential in so many of us to get together and reorganize and get stronger as an art base, you know?
Well, it's a large community now.
Yeah,
it isn't just like a couple rogues out on the street. Everybody knows everybody, right?
Yeah, well,
you
yeah.
know. And do you consider yourself a first generation graffiti
I'd
of
say
LA?
more,
Second
I'd say
generation?
more second generation because the first generation, I really give it up to the guys that pioneered Belmont, pioneered the Venice, beach walls, Pan Pacific, Motor Yard, even Panic Zone up here, you know. People like Skate, rest in peace, you know,
Yeah.
Oof.
What do you got here?
So I tend to, mesh a lot of the Aztec stuff. It says smoking mirrors. It's one of the Aztec gods called Tezcatlipoca. Everybody commonly, the Spaniards, when they first found out about it, they thought he was like the devil. But when you encompass it, he's like Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl. It's basically positive and negative.
Okay, a yin-yang.
Yin-yang.
An Aztec yin-yang.
Yeah, but he was feared. And I formed a video crew called Smoking Mirrors when I moved to 1935 Bay Street on Mateo and Bay, which I didn't know that was like the clubhouse at the time.
That was the clubhouse, man.
And I think members of Frank Zappa's band lived there, and someone from the San Francisco Mime Troupe. It got a lot of history.
Yeah.
But we ended up landing there in 1994, right after the earthquake. And
that quake helped a lot of people out with the rents.
Yeah, people were moving out, and I was moving in.
Oh yeah. So let's keep going, man. You got so much here. What's this?
More teaching guerrilla ski mask revolutionaries.
You got to keep the ski mask on down there?
Well, they had to.
They had to. You don't have to worry about that.
I didn't have to.
Okay, let's. We got our director Abel Alejandre is just whipping through the slideshow here. What's this?
Washington State University Chicano Latino Student Center murals right there.
Washington State University.
Old Wazoo.
Okay, wow, okay.
Yeah, in Pullman, Washington.
Wow, is that the Cougars?
The Cougars.
Okay, yeah. See, there you go. Wow, what do we got here?
This is a rendition of that pueblo. I had to paint along with this other artist who did this. He did the characters. He's a stencil artist, real awesome guy. But the neighborhood, the pueblo that we were at, we decided to pick the night before January 1st, 1994. And basically, what that structure is, that's their church. It's a little structure. That's their church. They met there the night before, and they all took off to the road. And it depicts them jacking trucks that were coming by with coffee, emptying the coffee out, and loading them up with Zapatista troops, and taking off to assault the army at the time.
Wow.
That neighborhood also, that barrio was also, people know about Subcomandante Marcos, but there was also another mestizo leader. His name was Comandante Pedro. He'd been with them for quite a while. He taught everybody there how to play chess. He died that day. He died the next day and stuff.
Wow.
And so we did also a rendition of Comandante
homage
Pedro.
To him?
Yeah, homage to him.
Wow. All right, let's keep going here, man. This is getting heavy.
Wow.
Same one here over there at Hazard, except that's right there. That's Smiley, the local homeboy. He came out on American Me, real well-spoken young man. Actually, it's funny. I just finished working at Challenger Youth Camp out in Lancaster, teaching youngsters how to paint murals. And his nephew, Little Smiley,
is one of them?
Is one of them. He's only like 16, man. And he comes from Hazard. Same kid. And I told him about the mural, and I told him about this guy. He goes, yeah, that's my uncle. Let's break the chain, man. Come on. Man.
So, all right, let's wow. What's this?
Sitting Bull, you're one of my favorites,
That's a famous American photograph.
Oh, yeah, man. I love that guy, man.
All right, let's where was that one?
That was at a storefront. This is inside that building, 1935 Bay Street.
Wow. This is back in the day. This is when you were young and handsome.
I know. 1995. That mural's probably still inside there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's still inside there.
Although now
they boxed it all up.
That neighborhood's all.
I want that building. They haven't taken that one yet, but
the rent's in those neighborhoods.
I paid $350 for my spot, man.
The Soho House is moving in that neighborhood. You know what the Soho? It's a private country club.
No way.
Yeah. They just bought the David Harvey, where the bands rehearse on Santa Fe.
Oh no way.
Yeah, they did for like $20 million. They just bought that building.
Does that mean the Playpen's gonna have to move out because it's?
The Playpen's probably gonna go upscale now. Jeez, you guys, your strip club days are over, Mr. Broke. All right, what's this?
I got a chance to participate in the Boyle Heights retrospective at the Japanese American National Museum.
Oh, I saw this show. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm really proud of this work. I still have it. The centerpiece, though, is I did Boyle Heights in an old like Jewish script.
Oh wow!
To give
beautiful man.
Props to that. But there's an image right there at the bottom of Cedric Shimu, and I think he's still around. And him and his father had a kendo and martial arts school, and that photo that I used was of the year that he won the kendo championship for Boyle Heights. He was here with his father, and then consequently that next year the FBI closed them up and sent them all to the camps.
To Manzanar.
To Manzanar and all the other
wow.
places. And he was there, Cedric Shima. I didn't even know he was going to be there.
Wow.
But something pulled me from that photo. Something said, again, because it was Boyle Heights, he gave me tons of photos. But that one said something about pride, and I could see it as he held his candle sword. He's like, yeah, Boyle Heights, right here representing.
I think we got time for one more.
Sure.
What's this?
That is still there. Okay, so in 1984 in Chiapas, this lady has a place to an American couple called La Casa del Pan. Really hip. They're old hippies from the 60s, moved down to Chiapas back in the 70s or 80s, and did everything ecologically minded. The man's a biochemist, the woman, she's got some great food. And in 1984, they asked me to do this mural there at their restaurant, and that kept me eating. She fed me, basically.
Hey.
I did like 3 or 4 restaurants and bars.
We'll mural for food.
Hey, man, and you know what? Great story to this is when I got married in 2008, I was able to take my wife. We had a beautiful dinner in front of that mural. That mural.
You honeymooned in Chiapas?
I honeymooned. I did everything different.
Roni honeymooned in Indonesia. Lisa, where was your first honeymoon?
At the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, local. Aliza,
right.
where was? Oh, you're a little too young. Hey, let's see what they sketch.
Then we went to
of
Ireland.
NUKE. Wow.
Wow.
Let's get this.
All right.
Nice.
Gotta love it.
Smiling.
Intern Aliza from the Sketcher's seat. Hey, NUKE. We could talk for an hour and a half
always
longer, man.
a
It was a
pleasure.
blast,
Hell
man.
yeah,
It's a
man.
pleasure
Great stuff.
to meet you.
Yes, of course.
This has been Modern Art Blitz. My lovely co-hostess
And our lovely
Lisa Derrick.
sketcher.
Our lovely sketcher seat intern Aliza. My great veteran guest NUKE. Thanks also to our other guest Roni Feldman. My name is Matt Gleason. I'm the host of Modern Art Blitz. We stream live every Sunday at dronebox.com. It's a website. We're archived on YouTube.
And you can watch us on Facebook.
On Facebook, we have a Facebook page, Modern Art Blitz. You could like us so we put more crap in your timeline. You know, it's funny, in 10 years, will people even understand this? So anyway, thanks for watching. I have no tagline.